Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the second round of Season 15. Second round of Season 15 in Division 2. We are at the Red Bull Ring for the Austrian Grand Prix. My name is Enola Felix Warner. I'll be taking you through today's race. And, hopefully another exciting race in store for us today. We've got a very well-sized grid, once again, 17 cars for today's race. There is one driver who... Well, that's Lanky Brown, whose name he wasn't showing up for me in the lobby already, so that could be slightly confusing, but thankfully it's only one driver, so when I see a driver without a name, I know it's Lanky Brown. I can try and maybe... If I say view profile, yeah, it does show up Lanky Brown. If I go back out, it's still empty, that's annoying. Dry to wet race, says Dylan, thank you. And maybe back to dry. That could be really interesting then. So that could be an interesting development in the race. Perhaps even going back to dry. So two pit stops, if that works out. 2 crossover periods from dry to intern back to dry. I'm guessing it won't be full wet conditions unless the rain is a lot heavier than predicted. Right, these engine sounds are way too loud. I forget every time that when I'm not in the party, I have to turn down the game volume, because otherwise, when you're in a party, the game gets like quieter, but then when you're back alone, your ears just get destroyed. So the first car on the track was the Sauber of DC Viral, with a couple of reserves in today's race. Well, PC Willy, with his first Division 2 race after a long time away. He was actually available last week as well, just didn't get a seat. But he's taking the Sauber of Aussie Drivers with today's race. And then we also have Charlie in the V-Cup, who has taken the main seat of Maud, who has had to drop out of the season. Unfortunately, he's no longer available on Wednesdays. And then the other reserve racing today is Dylan in the Ferrari. He is racing in place of Gabri, who is missing today's race. But we do have Tukyo on his first race of the season after having missed the Australian Grand Prix. And currently on board with the first car on track, DC Viral. So here's set the benchmark for this qualifying session. The Division 1 level time that we set, the target time, what would be competitive in Division 1, was a 105.000. I'm expecting pole times like a low 104. The pole in Division 1 was a 103.9, so just inside the 103s. But I would say Division 2, in qualifying at least, it's really not far off from Division 1. So we might even see a few guys in the 103s if someone has a really, really good lap. Viral over the line, a 104.581. A very good benchmark there early on already, I would say. Bombardino over the line, a 104.113. There we go. 4 tenths faster only. It's such a short track, of course. Only 10 corners here around the Red Bull Ring. So those 4 tenths, that's a massive gap on a track like this. Desi over the line puts in a 104.857, goes into 3rd place for the moment. We've got Dylan in the Ferrari coming up in the final 2 corners, always jumping into 3rd place. He actually ended up in 3rd place on the Australian Grand Prix after post-race penalties were applied. He was given a penalty for an incident. Dylan going to 6th there, Edwin jumping to 2nd. See a V-car up the line, that's Kuku who's involved in this run. And then we have the Williams of Pix on an outlap. We'll stay on board with Sean here, who is about to finish a lap. Of course, not last season's champion for the first time in a long time. He is coming into the season as a challenger rather than as the driver to be challenged. So we'll see how he deals with that. Didn't get out to a good start in Australia, and it does not seem to be improving here in Austria because the time wasn't great, 104.729, and it isn't valid either. So not a good start to this qualifying session for Sean Moore. Charlie has also invalidated his run. We've got Pix and Kuko currently on runs, but Bobodinho's 104.113 still untouched at the top. He's got 2.5 tenths between himself and Edwin, so a very, very sizable gap there. Kuko running in medium ERS here through the middle sector. Not sure if he's forgot to put on a hot lap or if he's abandoned the lap, but I mean, why don't you use medium? Of course, on some tracks you do switch between medium, hot lap and overtake throughout your hot lap, but that's not what Kuko's doing. He's just keeping it in medium, and in the end, of course, the time is awful. 105.811, 9 tenths off Dylan. Next slowest car. Pix 105.063. Now we've got Charlie going past, not the Haas cars that have spun around. That would have been Flavors, the only Haas in this race, of course. Thankfully, the ghosting system preventing any sort of issues there. And Charlie actually is going to go back to the pits, it seems. Does not want to complete this lap. We'll go on board with last week's race winner, Sully. And of course, therefore, also our current championship leader. Of course, only one race completed, so the race results from Australia are also the championship standings. There's absolutely no difference in those. Hubdog just jumping to the second place there, so once again, Mercedes looking strong in qualifying. A 104.318. Just over 2 tenths behind his teammate. Bobodinho and Pubdog setting the early pace. We still have 11, almost 12 minutes to go in qualifying. What can Sully do on what will be his first run of the session? That's a 104.813, only 7th place for last week's winner. So he's going to be hoping to improve massively on that. I believe Always might be... No, he's on non-ERS, not on up. Desi just came out the pits. Marcelio on non-ERS, Kuko on hot lap. There we go, found someone on a hot lap. 32 thousandths down in the first sector for the V-Card man. Second gear out of turn 3, bit of a slide, but the car continuing to go in the right direction, so nothing lost through there. But now down towards turn 4, doesn't go all over the curb there. Does take a little off the curb on the inside though. And accelerating now down towards the 2 fast left-handers. Crucial part of the lap, this is where you can gain a lot of time. Kuko going all the way down to 4th gear through there. Shifting to 5th for traction, 50 thousandths down on his previous best. But 2 more corners to go. Can he improve on that 105.811? Last season's champion so far down in 12th and not improving too much. I mean, we saw him earlier running on medium ERS. And he almost bins the car coming up the final corner. And doesn't even improve. 4 tenths down on his previous best. He is also on 4 lap old softs, worth mentioning. Which is probably why time is so terrible. And why he had to slow down so much for those corners. PC Woody currently on a lap as well. Of course, down in 14th, as he hasn't put a lap in so far, so we'll see what his pace ends up being. In Division 1, he was racing as well. He was in the upper midfield in the race, fighting for the podium, or for the final podium spot between himself, Jeremy, Always, Bazooka. There was a massive, massive scrap there. Definitely good fun to watch that race. I would recommend if you haven't already. But I won't be spoiling the outcome, so you can still watch it. Yeah, without knowing what's gonna happen. So, Pisivoli, down towards the final corner and down towards the line. How far up the field can he go? That's a 104.580, 1,000 faster than his teammate. So he jumps into 5th place. But his teammate, DC Viral, 43 thousandths up in the middle sector. Could be about to reclaim that 5th place and maybe have a go at Always for 4th as well. If he finds a bit more time here in the final sector. But he's quite low on ERS already, keeping it fully flat through turn 9. So lots of downforce on that Sauber. And now, down towards the line, that's going to be a 104.401 indeed. He goes into 4th place. Always now splitting the 2 Saubers. Sean Mull abandoning a lap already as he lets one of the Aston Martins pass there. Edwin, currently in 3rd place, invalidating this run. Is Desi on a hot lap right now? Doesn't show me his split times, but he's quite low on ERS already, so I'm not too sure. And Sean Moore we just saw abandoned, so we'll start with Desi for now and see what he's doing. Because I can't find anybody else on the lap anyway. But Desi does seem to be pushing and he's leaving the ERS on hot lap, so I would say Desi is indeed trying to improve. Oh no, nah, okay, never mind. Yeah, Desi is 4 seconds down on his previous best, we see. Charlie, he should start a lap, there we go, found someone. 16.066 in the first sector. Hasn't put a lap in so far. I think he might have invalidated his first run. Using a lot of overtake down towards turn 4. We're already very low in ERS. He's gonna have to conserve a bit for the second half of the lap here. Braking halfway on the curb there. Just touching that inside curb a little bit. Through turn 4. Now down towards the double left-hander. 6th gear all the way through. Full throttle on the exit. Just sending the car in really nicely. 44.702 in the middle sector. Sean Moore with a 14.9. That's definitely an abandoned lap. He'll be improving on that significantly in his next runs. Kuklo is back out on track with a fresh set of tires as well, so VCAP might be about to jump up the field here because Charlie puts in his first lap of the session and he goes into P7, 104.747. And his teammate Kuklo, or his teammate for today I should say, since Charlie is a reserve. No, never mind, Charlie isn't a reserve anymore. Charlie took the seat full time. I have to adjust that stuff after a while. Usually I stop making the mistakes. Sean almost up by 9 seconds. So getting a clean lap in this time around. And down towards the line. What is it gonna be for the Williams man? I thought he just underseated completely, but no, just a bit of lag. And now down towards the line for Sean Moore. That's a 104.60 run, 7th place. Displaces Charlie there. As his teammate Pix goes into 12th with a 4.945. Bazooka over the line, 14th, 105.068. Sully just improving by 2.5 tenths there into 6th place, I believe. Charlie back to the pit lane. Got Flavors on the run. And of course Kuku as well. 4 tenths up in the first sector. I'm gonna quickly invite Phantom Fox in case he does make it, so that he has an invite. I think he's got about 6 minutes to go, so it could be close at this point. Alright, send Phantom invite, we'll see if he makes it in time. And just in time for Kuko's finish lap. He is gonna go over the line with a 104.949, only 14th for Kuko. Well, I mean, what we're seeing right now are some really tight gaps. I mean, even from Bobodinho to Marcello, it's only 1.3 seconds. But say if you exclude those two, it's 7 tenths from P2 to P15. And that is what Austria is like in qualifying. The gaps are incredibly tight. Such a short track. Bobodinho improves on his previous best again, a 104.046. And he looks to have one hand on pole position unless someone can pull something out of the bag. Right now there aren't too many cars on track. Flavors, Bobodinho, Edwin and Kuklo, the only ones who are on track and not in outlaps. Flavors is significantly down. We'll see what Desi's doing right now. He's just starting the run. Currently in 12th, a 104.764 for the Red Bull driver. So we go down towards turn 3. Let's see how much he's up by in the first sector. It's actually down by 60,000, so turn 1 not ideal for him. And now that's lap ruined, as he has a, well, not quite a spin, but almost a spin coming out of turn 3. And a significant amount of time lost. With teammate Marcello though, starting a run as well, so both Red Bulls pretty close together, starting their runs. Marcello currently in 16th, a 105.408. The only car behind him is the Alpine of Lanky Brown, who hasn't even gone on track yet. 37,000, Jesus, down in the first sector for Marcello. You can also have a quick look at Edwin, back to the pits. Viral, 53,000 up in the first sector, so Viral and Marcello currently on hot laps. Viral a bit further ahead, so we'll stay with him for the moment and see his sector 2 split, and we go back to Marcello. 2 tenths up for Viral, and Marcello 2 tenths down, also abandoning the lap now. So back to Viral. 2 tenths up, he could go all the way into second place here. Remember in Australia qualifying, both Saubers I think were like fighting for top 10s, and then they had a safety car bringing towards the front of the grid, and now he qualifies, or at least for the moment in qualifying, he's sitting in second place with a 104.254. So it seems that he's confirming the pace he showed in the race in Australia rather than the pace he showed in qualifying. Desi back on another run now. Many of the other drivers still in the pit lane. Sean and Kuku and Pubdog now on outlaps. 3 minutes to go, so we'll see everyone diving out of the pits pretty soon for their final run in this qualifying session and the final chance to move up the grid. 77 thousandths down in the middle sector is Desi, but he does still have 2 corners to go. Turn 9 and 10, 2 of them the tricky corners on this track. Very easy to invalidate your run through here. Desi keeps within the white lines beautifully through both of them, and now Diaz down to the line. That's a 104.673 as he jumps into 11th place. Marcelio, is he going for another push lap? No, he's a second down. Viral back in the pits. That could be his qualifying done. 2 minutes 45. I don't think he'll get another run in, but Sean just getting his final run in now. Launching it over the curves at turn 1. Beautiful. That should be a good time gain for there, unless his first sector previously was really good, because that looked like a very good turn 1. Yep, 68 thousandths up for Sean. And a really good turn 3 as well. Not the best of exits though. Bit of a slide, and that could have cost him. I wouldn't say the lap was down the drain or anything, but certainly half a tenth maybe lost right there. It's because you lose all the way down the straight if you make a mistake on traction. A good turn 4 though should recover some of that lost time. If you're going towards the split time, or the split, well, traction point for split 2. There we go. 2.5 tenths up is Sean. And that could bring him significantly up the grid. Maybe all the way into the top 5. Oh yeah, only 80 thousandths to P5. Maybe he can have a go at Edwin even. Well, wait and see. One more corner to go for the Williams man. Steves stays in the right lines and over the line. That's a 104.436 P5 for Sean Mull. Pubdog hasn't validated his final run. Bobodinho on his final run as well now. Also, Kuku out on track. 4 seconds down to have to go another lap after this. Bobodinho 1,000 down in the first sector. Edwin starting his one as well. Now we've got Dylan out on track. Flavors. They are all kicking off right at the end here. We'll stay on both Bobodinho. And he is up by over a tenth in the in the middle sector, sorry. Looking really strong. Really good for a potential 103 here. The first one of the session. It would be. And maybe the only one, because it doesn't seem like anyone is matching Bobodinho's pace today. And he did invalidate there. That was a really good final corner. And a 103.908 for Bobodinho. Can anyone even get close in that time? It doesn't look like it. The gap is massive. 3.5 tenths from Bobodinho to second place DC Rival right now. Edwin coming up to the line. Currently in 4th place. How far up the field can he go? Aston Martin jumping into 3rd place. 80 thousandths game. 104.292. But Pubdog will have something to say about that. Dylan jumping all the way to 2nd place there. 104.238. Pubdog up by 84 thousandths of a second. So we go towards the final corner to see a Red Bull or VCAP, not sure, coming to the line. And that's Kuku jumping into 13th. A disappointing qualifying for last season's champion. And Pubdog over the line with a 104.163. It's a Mercedes 1-2 for the moment. Last week's race winner, Sully, currently down in 9th. Can he do anything about that? He needs a massive improvement here. Always up by 2 tenths. Can anyone do anything about it? Pisivoli, purple Mercedes. Pisivoli up by 4 tenths. Pisivoli looks really strong. Sully over the line. Where does he go? 6th place. Always come up to the line. How far up the field can he go? But I think Pisivoli is our best hope of disrupting that Mercedes 1-2. Over the line he goes, and that's a 104.144. Indeed, Pisivoli splits the Mercedes cars. And I think that was everyone. Flavors I saw was 4 tenths down. Sean also run out of fuels. That's it. Dylan back to the pit. Pubdog also not doing a lap. So yeah, there we go. That's qualifying done here in Austria. And Bobodinho hangs on to that pole position. A 103.908. And I think that's the fastest time we've seen this race as well, including Division 1. So a very, very impressive qualifying performance from Bobodinho. And a very well-deserved pole position. Pisivoli in 2nd place with a 104.144. And then followed by Pubdog in 3rd place. So both Mercedes cars once again very far towards the front of the grid with a P1 and a P3. Then Dylan in 4th place, 104.238. And DC Rival in 5th place, a strong showing for Sauber as well there. He's only a tenth well, just over a tenth behind his teammate, a 104.254. Edwin in 6th place, 104.292, the strongest Aston Martin. Always in 7th, 104.320. Sully just over a tenth behind his teammate as well, in 8th position, 104.397. And then Shawmul in 9th place, 104.436. And Flavors was running out of the top 10, although I couldn't quite remember his qualifying time. Now we'll go through the rest of the field in just a moment once we have the full results on screen. And there we go, Flavors in 10th place at 104.483. Then a bit of a gap to Bazooka in 11th, 104.644. Desi in 12th, 4.673. Then the two VCAF, 104.747 and 770. Charlie ahead of Truco. Pix in 15th, 104.945. Marcelio, the first car not in the 104s, apart from Bobulinho, of course, 105.408. And Lanky Brown, starting in 17th, didn't complete a lap time. Don't think he even left the pit lane. So that's interesting. And yeah, that's been the qualifying here in Austria, and Bobulinho does seem to be the clear favorite for the race win. But do not forget, the nature of this track, pace might not decide it. In fact, it probably will not. There is 3 DRS zones and only 10 corners. So realistically, it will be close to impossible to break that DRS. The rain could make that a bit more possible to then drive away, but in the dry, unless the cars behind you battle hard, make mistakes, it's basically impossible to drive away. So we are definitely in for a good race here, and I would say, even though Bobulinho looks the strongest by far, with a over 2/10 gap to P2, this is far from decided, and anyone can still take this race. I mean, we have seen Division 2 too often to say it's over after qualifying. So yeah, we'll get ready for the race. The drivers putting together their strategies, setting up the fuel loads, and then we'll get going. 36 laps around the Red Bull Ring. Maybe some rain coming. And here we go. The 5 red lights are on, ready for the race start, and it's lights out, and away we go here in Austria, and a good start from Bobulinho as he gets away really well. Papdog over on the outside of PC, he squeezes him onto the curb a bit, but Papdog sends it around the outside, gets squeezed off the track a bit, rejoins, still side by side with the Sauber, down towards turn 3 now. Although, Dylan with a good exit, actually pulling alongside Papdog, while PC really clears him. Dylan on the inside line with the advantage, I would say, although he does tap the back of PC, a bit of contact made, and that allows Papdog to now come clear of Dylan, who had a bit of an Austin moment. Edwin and DC Rival battling down towards turn 4 over P5, and it's Edwin who comes out on top. And then Sully, almost going to the back of Viral, goes a bit deep, almost has to take avoiding action. That allows Flavors to cut inside and now move up to 8th place. And a yellow flag in the background, that's Marcelio with a spin coming out of turn 4. At the front though, all staying the same. Bobulinho followed by PC Woody, Papdog and Dylan. Jesus. Brief. So, the Mercedes setting up well early on, staying in the positions they were in, 1 and 3. They can work together a bit, make sure that they are in control of this race. Viral down in 6th, he's lost 1 place, so he's a bit further away from his teammates, can't support him quite as well. Although, of course, still in a better position than perhaps Dylan with his teammate down in 11th. We have a crash again. And that's Flavors and Always, I believe. Both spun around at the exit of turn 1. So I'm gonna guess that those two got into some sort of incident. I did also see a few winglets in the grass, I'm not sure whose that were. So we are now back on board with the leaders. Desi has already fallen outside the second to Sully. So the top 7 might be pulling away from the rest of the field here. As Papdog is all over the back of PC Woody, following him really closely to the middle sector. And the top 7, of course, are all gonna stay relatively patient from here. There's no point trying to make any moves here in the middle part of the track. You wanna wait for those 3 back-to-back DRS zones. That's your best chance. And Desi has indeed fallen outside DRS range. You can open up the graphic for the tires. Dylan in the hards, he's the only one leading pack to do that. And then Bazooka, Charlie and Pix as well. Everybody else going for the mediums on the first stint. PC really maybe has a run on Bobulinho. 10-second penalty for Lanky Brown speeding the pit lane. So he already has to make a wing change, I assume, otherwise he's not pitting this early. And Papdog with a send on Pisivoli gets it stopped though. And now Pisivoli is boxed in behind Bobodinho. No, not quite, it's fine actually. Now Pisivoli, and he's picked up damage as they make contact down the straight. Pisivoli's front right end plate is gone. And Papdog might take advantage of this as he's now got the better exit out of turn 4. Pisivoli leaves him the space in the outside line, but Bobodinho blocks his teammate in a little bit. Pisivoli going up the inside and make contact again and again. Papdog now getting alongside through that and moving around the outside of the kick Sauber car. And Pisivoli has to settle for third place for now and maybe even has to look backwards towards Dylan now with that wing damage. I must say, very unlucky for Pisivoli. Such a small tap that looked like, and to immediately pick up wing damage. Really unlucky. But that is the small margins that we work with here around the Red Bull Ring. Pisivoli, of course, nothing is lost just yet, as long as he does stay in this DRS range. It will now be just trickier, but nowhere near impossible. Papdog and Bobodinho swapping places. Papdog taking the lead of the race. Pisivoli looking to get involved as he sends it around the outside. Bobodinho leaves him the space on the exit. And Pisivoli with a good exit there as he comes around the outside, uses a bit of overtake mode. And gets Bobodinho and might also get Papdog now as he goes to the outside line of turn 4. But doesn't have the aerodynamic grip there to go all the way around the outside. That wing damage definitely hurt him, that attempted an overtake. And he is continuing to be stuck behind Papdog. Although he does have a lot more ERS than the two around him. Of course, ERS recharge on this year's game, fairly easy. So you would think he can recover, or the Sauber, sorry, can recover, Mercedes can recover from that fairly well. I will as well, with loads of ERS to play with. So the Saubers are playing the long game, you would think. Just keeping that ERS, waiting for the perfect opportunity to use it and maybe try and break away from the train somewhat. Of course, a 7-car train here, far from ideal, because if you are leading this train and you make the tiniest of mistakes, you go from having 25 points to 6 points. And the next train, not too far behind as well. Bazooka only 1.9 seconds away from Sully, so they are not safe from the cars behind either. Well, they are safe in terms of an attack right now, but if they make a mistake, Bazooka will be right there as well. PC with another attempt round the outside through turn 4. And once again, Papdog on the inside line with a much better exit. Look at how he just rocketed away. Pisivoli, I think, getting on the curb there cost him on the exit. So the outside line for turn 4 doesn't quite seem to be the one. We've got yellow flags for Desi with a crash before turn 6. Sorry. How's he end up in the barrier there? Pisivoli now with a time penalty as well, 3 seconds for multiple warnings, further hindering his chances of going up against Mercedes cars today. As we have Charlie in the pit lane, quite early on already, only 6 laps driven, and he ought to start on the hards. Pisivoli goes off through turn 1, and Dylan all over the back of Bobodinho, looking to take that third place away from him as he goes to the outside of turn 3. 2 by 2 now. Bobodinho setting it up the inside of Pisivoli. Dylan trying a massive switch when everyone doesn't get the exit speed though. And now Pisivoli using a bit of overtake once again to the outside of Papdog, and I think this time he's cleared him before the braking zone, so that should be Pisivoli finally taking lead of this race, and there's loads of contact. Dylan, I think, picked up damage, almost spun around as well. That drops down to 6th place. Edwin looking to attack Bobodinho, I think has picked up damage from that. Yes, Bobodinho with a missing front right end plate. I think from going to the back of his teammate. So the 2 Mercedes cars getting involved in incident. It's gonna cost him heavily. I'm not sure if Dylan picked up any damage as well. At least not visually. The end plates are still there and the front wing is still all there, so Bobodinho goes very wide there through the final corner. So you can immediately tell damage is affecting him. And now Papdog seems to be in the best possible position to win this race. The 2 cars around him, Pisivoli ahead and Bobodinho behind, both have damage. We'll see what the strategy for Mercedes is now, if they try and work together, if Bobodinho holds up the cars behind with his damage. Or if Bobodinho still wants his race win for himself and is going to fully go for it against his teammate, despite the damage. Sully ghosting out of turn 3, so something's happened here, and Bazooka might take this chance to get back into the DRS train and join this top 7, making the top 8. Sean is about 3 seconds behind, so he will not be in any sort of position to join this battle. Of course, Bazooka on the hards. He'll have the advantage later on, same with Dylan. Papdog practically pushing peaceably through the double left-hander here. You can definitely tell that he has the massive advantage in the corners of having a functioning front wing. Shock horror. The end plates are there for a reason, they made the car faster. I haven't really been looking at the cars in behind this train too much. We have a bit of a battle forming for 9th place here between Sean and Kuku. What a fall off this is. That is almost sad, seeing them battle for 9th, nowhere near the podium places. As Edwin and Boborinho are battling over 3rd once again, and Edwin on the inside line through turn 3 should have the advantage. Viral with a good exit could maybe join as well. He looks for a gap somewhere. He's almost sliding out there as he goes from left to right and back to the left. And now Pisivoli also trying to go around yet the Papdog. Viral sending up the inside of Boborinho, and he takes 4th place. Dylan joining the fight as well. What a battle this is. In the chasing pack there, in behind Pisivoli and Papdog. Edwin comes on top ahead of Viral, Boborinho, and then Dylan still in 6th place. But Boborinho dropping a lot more with that wing damage than Pisivoli did, so maybe, I'm not sure if he has more damage, or if he's just struggling to adapt to it more than Pisivoli is. Wait, are they missing this, he's missing the right end plate, and so is Pisivoli, so it's the same damage, I think. At least visually. Of course, it could be different damage levels. I'm not too sure how well the game actually shows. Like if it's, say, lime green or yellow or orange. As Dylan now has a run on Boborinho down towards turn 3. On the outside line we also have yellow flags for Desi out of turn 4. Boborinho sends it back up the inside, goes deep and hits DC Rival as well. And that allows Dylan to pass them both. Dylan now up into 4th place, but almost out of the DRS range to the top 3, so he needs to put his foot down here. As Pisivoli reclaims the lead, that might help him a bit, of course. Now Pisivoli may be holding up the cars in behind with his damage. Slowly passing Boborinho for 6th place. Boborinho really having a nightmare of a race so far, starting on pole with such a massive advantage in qualifying. And now he's picked up damage and just seems to keep dropping and dropping. Next car in behind him is Bazooka, and I'm sure he has to look behind more than he can look in front going forward. As Papdog and Pisivoli are side by side down towards the final corners. But Papdog backs out. But everyone practically pushing each other down towards the next lap. Boborinho a 3-second time penalty as Dylan has a look up the inside of Edwin down towards turn 1, but not a good overtaking opportunity. Simply too fast and too narrow a corner to try and battle through, especially with turn 3 coming up next. Why would you even try it? When a much better opportunity is right here. A 90-degree, well, more than 90-degree right-hander, 2nd gear. As Papdog goes up the inside of Pisivoli and reclaims the lead of the race. Edwin, with a good exit, he can get involved, but he chooses not to, doesn't use the overtake. Now down towards turn 4, once again Pisivoli on the outside line, Papdog on the inside. And Papdog may use a slight advantage there through the corner. Although they are still side by side now, down towards turn 5 and 6. Papdog trying to go around all the way around the outside. A beautiful move, and he's pulled it off. Pisivoli backs out. No tactics at all here, which is lovely to see. No waiting until lap 36 or anything of the sort. Which of course you see plenty of in Division 1. But these guys are just going for it. Boborinho and Bazooka now chasing the pack as well. Bazooka has fully joined this train. So we've got an 8-way fight for the win, essentially. Of course, Bazooka would have loads of cars to clear, but he is within the DRS range of the leaders. And now, 2 by 2. Pisivoli against Papdog, Dylan against Edwin. Maybe 3 wide into turn 3? No, not quite. It's Papdog who comes on the lead, and then Edwin ahead of Dylan. Pisivoli rejoining the track, they're coming from the outside of turn 3. We'll stay on with Dylan here with a good view of Edwin and Pisivoli battling on 2nd place now. Edwin on the inside line for turn 4. Dylan trying to sneak up the inside, now with a good exit. He slides the car. That's cost him the chance. DC Rival having a little look from behind as well, but a bit too far back to have a go down towards turn 6. So he has to settle for 5th place still. Oh, going all over the curb, and the car gets a bit unsettled. Thankfully for him, managed to catch it. Suddenly he's dropped back behind Boborinho. I'm not sure when this happened. But we have got an almighty battle for the top 8 positions in this race. And behind that, it's pretty quiet. The only other cars who are really fighting for anything are Sean and Kuko. They're in 9th and 10th, they are in DRS, when Street. Everybody else is fairly spread out. Flavors and Charlie, actually. Charlie already having made a pit stop, so he's got the entire advantage against Flavors. But he go down towards turn 3 once again. Are we going to be seeing any moves? Dylan with a send on Pisivoli. Make a bit of contact, and Pisivoli goes really deep. Rejoins in 6th place. Sully having a look up the inside as well. Bazooka with a lot of ERS around the outside, perhaps? Not quite. So Dylan with that massive send squeezing Pisivoli off track. Bazooka now, as Pisivoli has a bit of a wobble, also can go up the inside of him. And he clears the Sauber throughout the corner there. Pisivoli's damage hurting him a bit. And he's dropped all the way down from, was it 1st place, like 1 or 2 laps ago, to 8th place. So he has got a lot of work to do to get back towards the front of this pack. Of course, damage will make that a lot harder. And it's now Pub Dog, Edwin and Dylan on the podium places. Dylan with a run down towards turn 1 against Edwin. Burning the overtake mode, and the Hearts really coming into their own now. You can tell both Ferraris are making up ground. Dylan up into 2nd place, Bazooka all over the back of Sully here, who himself is all over the back of Bombardino. A time penalty to Owise, 3 seconds to him. For multiple warnings, just went over the white line one too many times now. And we are only 13 laps into this Grand Prix. Dylan with a run on Pub Dog, he claims the lead of the race as he flies past Mercedes using the DRS. In behind, all calm and quiet. We are getting close to the pit stop window for the medium runners. And that will leave Dylan and Bazooka out on their own, getting undercut. So they have to hope that when they rejoin the race on their mediums, when they make their pit stops, that they aren't too far behind. Of course, the undercut and these guys also in a DRS train could mean they will come on significantly ahead. They have to hope that the cars who pit earlier than them battle hard when they come out the pit lane. Otherwise, it could be tough for the Ferraris to stay in this fight. But if it works out for them and if they stay... Oh, there's rain! The rain has come a lot earlier than I thought it would. But just as I am talking about pit stops and undercuts, the rain completely throws that out the window. Because now, surely everyone's gonna wait until it's time for the intermediates, as Pub Dog tries to go round the exit of Dylan. And a bit of contact is made on the exit of turn 3. And I don't think Dylan got the DRS actually, and that means that Dylan is easily able to defend. Maybe everyone having a go at Pub Dog as well. Flavors into the pits. Just as the rain comes out, he's surely not going to... I mean, too early for Inters. Right? What's he doing? Intermediates and a wing train for Flavors. Yeah, it's way too early for intermediates. The track is still pretty much bone dry. Of course, there is some water coming down. You can tell the cars are getting a bit slidey. But it's a million miles away from intermediates, as Sully has a look up the inside of Bombardino to turn 9, but decides better off, and especially in these conditions. The track a bit damp. You do not want to be going for risky overtakes, because look at that. The rain is coming down harder, and Sully with a bit of a slide coming out the final corner. Dylan with a good gap to Pub Dog there. You can tell that those Hearts, with a lot less wear on them by now, are doing a lot better. Yellow flags for Charlie. A spin in the middle sector here, and he's dropped behind Lanky Brown. So he's been caught out by the first few raindrops here. Of course, now on these slick tires, it's going to be quite tricky to keep the car under control. So let's see if anybody else joins him in the grass. Oh, viral all over the place there. Coming out of turn 3, but he does get the car under control once again. And another spin out of turn 1. This time it's Marcelio, I believe, as Bombardino is sent in on viral. And he's dropped all the way down to 7th place there. Bazooka now with a run on Sully. Look at the overspeed he has in him in the traction zones. The mediums are really showing their age. And the Hearts are coping much better at the moment. As Pub Dog and Edwin are battling in the middle sector. And look at how far Dylan is away now. The Hearts are so much faster. Now, some of these guys are going to pit, some of them aren't, it seems. In fact, Dylan stayed out. Everybody else is coming in. There's one more car staying on, I see. I think that's Pistivoli and Sully who are avoiding the double stack. Bazooka trying to pass Violent in the pit lane didn't quite work out. So yeah, no double stacks for the top 8. Dia is disabled, and that could really hurt Dylan, Sully and Pistivoli. I think they've got a lap too long on the dry compound tires. Of course, didn't have a good gap in the cars behind, so he might be just about fine, but they are going to lose a significant amount of time, surely. Pubdog, the first of the intermediate runners, followed by Edwin, then Ryle, Bazooka, Sean, Kugo, and Bobodinho. Other than that, they're still sorting themselves out. Bobodinho did indeed double snack, sorry. So, 6.8 from Pubdog to Pix. Keep an eye on that gap. In fact, we can have a gap at the leader open. 20.6 from Dylan to Pubdog. Where will Dylan come out? 0.5, 0.4. That gap is coming down so quickly. 0.2, 0.1. Yeah, massive mistake. Massive mistake from the top 3 to not go in. They are losing significant amounts of time compared to the intermediate runners. I think, did Bobodinho change his wing as well? Because he is miles behind. Yeah, he did. So a wing change and a double snack for Bobodinho drops him all the way down to P10, 7 seconds behind Sean, who I think himself was about 3 seconds behind the leading train earlier. So Bobodinho with lots and lots of work to do. At least the DRS train is broken up now with the rain, of course, and disabling DRS. So now these guys will only slow each other down. They can't help each other with the DRS. And of course, intermediates for Dylan, Sully, and PC now. And Pix as well. He went to stay on a lap longer also. And Dylan is going to lose the lead to Pubdog, but by how much? It does seem to be a lot. Look at that. Pubdog already through turn 1, as Dylan is only just now exiting the pit lane and coming out side by side there with his teammate. Oh no, just ahead of DC Rivals. So Dylan is still in second place. He's lost about 5 seconds, I think. He had a 2-second gap before, now he's 2.5 behind. And he's battling with Viral down towards turn 3. Viral's tires will be a bit warmer by now, of course. There isn't... the heating blankets are restricted for intermediates, so you're not allowed to warm them up fully. But Dylan is able to hang on to second place, which could be crucial, because it will give him the opportunity to start chasing after Pubdog himself. And Rival separated two Ferraris there, so currently the order is now all clear up. Everyone is pitted onto intermediates. Pubdog is in control of the race. 2.5 seconds clear of Dylan, who is in a train with himself, Viral, and Bazooka. Edwin about a second behind that in 5th with a bit of wing damage, I think. Yes, Edwin picked up damage, and it's significant. Look at that! His entire front left wing is gone pretty much. Edwin has massive damage. And he's not going to pit anyway. Surely that means Sean is about to just fly past the Aston Martin. In behind there, Sully in 7th place. And then Bobodinho with a time penalty, a front wing change, and yeah, and a double stack in the pit lane. He has a lot of work to do. A lot of bad luck in this race for him. And then Kuku and Pisiuli. Pisiuli staying out a lap too long, dropped a significant amount of places. Not sure if he changed his wing as well. Yes, he did. So he's now in a battle with Kuku here. Over the last overall P9. And the last paying point position P10. The gap from Dylan to Pubdog currently increasing. Well, up to 3.3 now as PC when he goes for the move on Kuko. Gets the car stopped on the apex of turn 3 nicely, and now, with a much better exit as well, PC when he rockets away from the V-Cup. This little group from 2nd to 4th staying really close together, but not battling, crucially. But still, Pubdog is able to build a gap. And that could be crucial for him. A 3-second gap will of course enable him a bit of a buffer in case he makes any mistakes, which in these conditions is not unlikely. We've already seen a couple of cars in the barriers. Of course I don't want to comment as curse anyone, so I'll stop talking about it. But we do also have perhaps another transition to dry tires. Dylan said that the weather report was dry, wet, dry. So we'll see if the rain stops soon enough that we go back to dry tires. And that will be another opportunity, of course, to make a good strategy call. Or a bad strategy call. And either gain or lose some places a good amount of time. And coming out of the race, that could be crucial. As Bazooka now with a run on Viral. To the outside of turn 4 he goes. Sends it on the brakes. Tries to get the car stopped. They are side by side on the exit. Bazooka on the outside line. Can he get the traction down? He cannot. Viral hangs on to P3, or does he? Bazooka sending it back up the inside there. On the inside line this time around, he has the advantage, although Viral, can he go all the way around the outside? He can't. That's Bazooka up in the 3rd place. Now both Ferraris on the podium. And Bazooka, I mean, when did he start? He had a terrible qualifying, didn't he? Yeah, he's up 8 places. He started down in 11th, and Bazooka now up into the podium places. A great performance from him so far. And we are already over halfway into the race. Only 16 laps to go now. And 16 fairly short laps, of course. The Red Bull Ring, I think the shortest track... No, Monaco's the shortest track on the calendar. But in terms of lap time, the shortest track on the calendar. With just over a minute, about... Yeah, well, 103.9 was the pole time. So 103s, 104s in dry conditions in qualifying. Edwin with that massive damage is now dropped behind both Sean and Sully. I mean, he is missing pretty... The left-hand side of his front wing is pretty much just a plank at this point. There's no aero bits attached to it anymore. That's not just Monza spec, that's... I don't know... Formula 4 spec, pretty much. Just removed all of the... all of the aerodynamics of the front left side of the front wing. So especially going to right-handers, that car is just gonna not turn pretty much. And we'll see, a left-hander through here can definitely tell the car's a bit understeer. But the next corner, a right-hander, I think that's where you really see the understeer kicking in for the Aston Martin. Yeah, look at this, the car can't even stay on track. Kuku now with a 3-second time penalty as well. 3.5 seconds, the gap from Pub Dog to Dylan is stabilizing a bit now. But Dylan would have to close in if anything, if he wants to win this race. So Pub Dog doing a brilliant job right now of controlling this race. A great strategy call and then just conserving the gap all the way to the line. That would be good enough for him. Sean with a bit of a tap on the back of Sully down towards turn 3, but all is well that ends well. No damage and no spins or anything. 3-second time penalty to Marcello, a nightmare race for Red Bull right now. They are in 17th and 16th, and Desi, I think, has just been lapped by Kuko. Wow. So he's lapped down to P10. As PC when he passes Boborino for 8th, they are side by side now. Boborino setting it back up the inside. A beautiful little battle through the two left-handers. PC really coming out on top for the moment as they are both chasing after Edwin as well. PC really has a lot of ERS to play with. Boborino, not so much, he's at well under 10%. So advantage PC really in this fight. And if he can get past Edwin quickly while Boborino gets stuck behind, which there is a good chance of considering that Edwin has similar amounts of ERS charged to PC really, while Boborino has way less than the two of them. PC really should have a much easier time of passing him. And then he can try and build a gap. Boborino now with another 3-second time penalty. So, Piscivoli, can he get a run on Edwin? Does he know how bad his damage is? Does he know how easy of a target he could be? He definitely could have noticed that in the braking zone right there because of how much it just closed up. So down towards turn 4, I think he has a good chance. So he has to look up the inside. Edwin covers it off though. Does Piscivoli have to run on him? Is he going to send it on the brakes? He has a look up the inside but decides against it. Piscivoli is being patient, doesn't want to throw away his P8 that he's in right now. But he needs to get around an Aston Martin. He is losing a lot of time behind him. That damage is slowing Edwin down a lot, and Edwin being slow is slowing down Piscivoli and Boborino, who goes off into gravel as he has to take avoiding action from Piscivoli, who just tapped the back of Edwin. Thankfully though I didn't see any flying carbon fiber. Slanky round passes Clavers for 14th. And now with a good exit, Piscivoli maybe has a chance down towards turn 1. Edwin is covering it off, though he's burning a lot of ERS as he tries to hold on to these places. Of course, he knows these guys have penalties. This is who he can maybe still beat even with the damage, if he just holds them off for long enough. But now, look at the run Piscivoli has. Surely it's over for Edwin now. Down towards turn 3. He has to brake so much earlier. Can Piscivoli go clean around the outside? He cannot. Once again, Edwin holds him off. A really good defense from the Aston Martin, but then, on traction, look at that. Piscivoli absolutely rocketing past. And Edwin settling for 8th place. Boborino will be his next attacker. And we'll see if the Mercedes has an easier time of passing the Aston Martin, who has now used a lot of ERS in defending against Piscivoli, who will of course be hoping that Edwin can hold off Boborino a bit to give Piscivoli some peace and quiet. But look at that, the rain has stopped. We're back. And Pub Dog is coming into pits already. So he is a lot earlier than everybody else. He has gone earlier than everybody else this time around. Same as last time. He's a lap earlier than Dylan. Maybe even more laps. Look at that. Soft tires for Papdog. A 12 lap sprint to the end. But is the track dry enough for softs yet? It looks dry, but believe me, it might look dry, but on the Formula 1 game, I would not trust that. We'll see what Papdog's time compared to the leader is like. As he always went to the barrier! Has he picked up damage from that? I don't think I think he's gotten away with it. Just about. 17.9, 18.0, 18.1 to Dylan and Bazooka, who are currently fighting over 4th place. So keep an eye on that gap from Papdog to Dylan. Battling his teammate right now is not ideal, but of course, they are battling over the pit stop. The one behind has a double stack. And Dylan seems to have come out on top here. As we go down towards the pit lane, but they are both gaining on Papdog. As Bazooka goes off into gravel. Bazooka has made a mistake. Rejoined in 3rd place behind Ravel. Well, do they pit now? They're still gaining loads of time on Papdog. It might still be too early. Papdog has lost about 2 seconds this lap. Dylan is still coming in. Rival is in. Bazooka is in. If I was Bazooka, I would have stayed out because it doesn't look like it's time for softs here. Of course, they can't see the gap to Papdog. Papdog is down in 9th. They don't know. They have no way of knowing. PC already knows. Because he can see Papdog, I think, on the top right. Oh no, he can't. He was in 6th. But I think PC already might have made the correct choice here nonetheless, because it doesn't seem like the intermediate is ready yet. Yeah, Edwin Bombardino are staying out, and they were able to see the gap from Papdog to them. Papdog wasn't closing in at all, and Dylan has rejoined in the effectively of the race, but I would not count on that, because now let's take a look at his gap to the leader, and how that opens up from him to PC really. Right now it's glitched. Apparently 16,000 Bombardino, that's just not true at all. 11.6 from Viral to PC really, 0.9. 12.3, 12.5, yeah, it's not time for dry tires. The track looks dry, but it is clearly not dry. And all of these guys went in for a pit stop early, are losing so much time right now, and Edwin, despite the wing damage, could be back in position for a race with PC Willy's penalty. No, PC Willy only has 3 seconds. PC Willy could be on his way to a race win here if he makes the correct strategy call. If he gets the timing of the pit stop right. Doesn't go in yet. He can, of course, now see Dylan in the top left and see his gap. Of course, we have to look at Rival with the glitched gap of Dylan constantly showing 0.016, even though that's just not true. But the gap from PC to Rival is opening up so quickly. Look at that. Of course, Rival on the hards, not on the ideal tire, but the mediums won't be that much faster. So Edwin, Bombardino, and PC Willy are covering a lot of time right now. Kuku has retired from the race in the pit lane though, so that will not change anything about the race in terms of safeguards or anything. Bombardino passing Edwin for 2nd place. Edwin with a lot of wing damage, of course. Held him off for a long time actually. So he's not coming back at him. Bombardino has the inside line, sends it on the brakes. Of course, he can brake much later than Edwin with the added downforce. We now do see a gap from Dylan to leader, 17.4. And I think it's stabilizing, so it might be time for the pit stops. Oh yeah, Dylan is still losing time actually. Still. The track looks bone dry. How is it still not time for for dry tires, sorry. Always is in the middle of these soft tire runners, not soft tire, dry tire runners, sorry. And he doesn't seem to be flying past them or anything. Edwin now into the pit lane. Bombardino and PC Willy are still staying out though. We'll see where Edwin comes out. Of course, he does have a wing change to make. And always into the pits as well now. So they are abandoning the intermediates. Desi, PC Willy, and Bombardino are the last ones left on them. Edwin with a wing change and a change onto medium compound tires. He's gonna come out behind Sean all the way down in 9th. And what a shame for Papdog this is. He just made that pit stop too early and he stopped so many places. He was in the lead of the race comfortably and then made the wrong strategy call. Gap from Dylan to PC Willy, 19.6. It's still expanding. PC Willy is still faster on these old intermediates. He does need a 3-second gap from himself to Dylan coming near the race though. So despite that incorrect strategy call from Dylan, it may not be over. 20.0. That gap is still opening up. Of course, the intermediates, they could be overheating by now. But it doesn't seem to be hindering PC really whatsoever. It almost a tensing up to Bombardino as well. PC really is really putting down the foot. Sean passing Pubdog for 7th there. Bombardino is now in. PC really and Desi are the last 2 cars left on the intermediates. As Bombardino picks up a 10-second penalty for speeding the pit lane. And that is nightmare fuel for Mercedes. One of their cars down in the 8th after an incorrect strategy call. And the other car now picking up a penalty and increasing its number of penalties to 19 seconds, almost a full pit stop. DRS now enabled, so we've hit the crossover point for sure. Dylan, 20.2 to PC. Bombardino got the timing bang on. If only he hadn't gotten that drive-through penalty. I mean, he's still only coming out in 7th place here, and he was 10 seconds back from PC. So, 10 seconds from Bombardino will be Dylan. Just about. So PC could come out side by side with Dylan. Dylan could still be in position to win this race. And PC has to pit now. Bazooka and Sunny battling over 4th here. We'll see. PC there we go, he's finally in the pits. 3-second time penalty to Lanky Brown. Got confused by the missing name there. So PC is in, finally. So much longer, I mean 4 laps after everybody else I believe, or 3 laps. And it goes on to soft compound tires, of course. Only a handful of laps to go. Dylan coming over the main straight now. It could be close. Dylan burning his ERS. He wants to be ahead of PC here because he knows all he needs to do is stay within 3 seconds. But Dylan picked up a penalty. No! Oh my goodness. And now PC he's out of the ERS range. He has a tire advantage. He should have this in the back. Pubdog picking up a penalty as well. Dylan has thrown it away there at turn 1 with that 3-second time penalty. And now, if anything, has to look behind DC Viral. Charlie has been a penalty as well. Viral though on the hard compound tires, so he should be slower. We've got a virtual safety car out for Pix, who has spun in the middle sector and he's removed the entirety of his front wing there. But only a virtual. Only a virtual. Everybody can recharge their batteries. And then we'll be back on the way for the final stages of this Grand Prix. The field span out a lot more now throughout that rain and throughout the pit stop phases. And who would have thought, after that damage so early on, that PC got now battling the Mercedes cars, that come the end of the race, he would be the one in the best position to win the Austrian Grand Prix, despite a 3-second time penalty. Since Dylan also has one. Dylan is fighting Viral over 3rd. More so than he is fighting PC for 1st. And it was Pubdog who was leading the train. Where even was PC? Was he he wasn't even in the train with yeah, it was Dylan, Bazooka and Viral, I think, who were together. Drive-through penalty for Bombardino now, adding further misery to that Mercedes race. After such a strong qualifying performance, Bombardino 19 seconds of penalties and a drive-through, Pubdog 8th place and 3 seconds of penalties. Bombardino I think will end up outside the points here. PC really 1.2 away from Dylan. If Dylan gets into DRS range, we have a fight. Now the question is, how well will those softs actually hold up come the end of the Grand Prix? Dylan is being conservative with the ERS. He doesn't think he can get back onto the ERS here. He might be saving it for later. He might already be strategizing for a soft tire drop-off. We do know on this game the softs really drop off quite quickly. So Dylan might be looking to attack PC when he comes out of the race. 1.2 seconds, of course. They are both going to be putting they're going to bring the hammer down here. Dylan wants this race win, and so does PC. But I mean, what are we even talking about? These are the 2 reserves in this Grand Prix. 2 reserve drivers for their team. Not usually representing Ferrari and Sauber. They well, they are reserve drivers, don't have a team. That's the whole point. But they are the 2 ones who are now fighting over the race win, with DC Viral chasing behind in 3rd place. Of course, if they battle, he could be the one who ends up benefiting. If they both lose enough time that he is within 3 seconds of them, that would mean that he picks up the race win here. We still have 5 laps to go. There could be one more twist, one more turn in this Austrian Grand Prix. Sully and Bazooka also battling over 4th, got Bobadinho and Sean on track at least battling over 6th, but Bobadinho with that penalty. Well, and drive-through still to serve as well. It'll be Sean who ends up in 6th place. Fairly certain about that. Dylan has lost a lot of time to Pisivoli now. Who interests me actually, who was the fastest lap? Edwin, 106.719. Doesn't seem like Pisivoli is going to go for it, even though he has the soft compound tire. Marcelio retiring in the pit lane as well, with only a handful of laps to go here. I think he was lapped though. Actually, we can see that, right? Leader. No one was lapped actually. Desi even unlapped himself. Bazooka on the back of Sully here. Down towards turn 3, but decides better off it, doesn't want to go for the move. Sean and Bobadinho battling over 6th. Bobadinho on the inside line there. He has a DRS, Sean doesn't. So he might have a good chance of coming back at him. Down towards turn 4, Bazooka also passing Sully up ahead. And Bobadinho on the inside of Sean Moole. They go side by side from the corner. A very nice battle this is, as they are still side by side. Down towards turn 6. Sean Moole on the inside line, slightly ahead, has the advantage and comes out ahead in this battle. And I think Bobadinho has to serve the drive-through now. Also picks up another 3-second time penalty. He's now up to 22 seconds and a drive-through, which he has to serve this lap, I believe. He got it 3 laps ago, so if he doesn't serve it now, it'll be a disqualification. And there we go, Bobadinho into the pit lane to serve a drive-through. That will drop him outside of the points in this Grand Prix. At least it didn't speed this time around, but yeah, that could not have gone much worse for him today. He is going to come out close with Overwise, I believe, but with his amount of penalties, he will lose that battle to Overwise and maybe even has to, yeah, worry about Charlie. As Edwin passes Pupdog for 7th. Pupdog, oh, way too late on the brakes, goes into the back of the Aston Martin, puts them both off, and through goes the lap car of Pix. Bazooka and Sully also having an incident. What is going on late on here? Jesus Christ. And Sean Moole, all of a sudden, in a fight for P4. Guys, please. Keep it together. As Viral is within 3 seconds of Dylan now. So, Viral would now be 2nd place. We might be seeing a Kick Sauber 1-2 here in the Austrian Grand Prix. It's close. So close between Dylan and Viral right now. Flavors in the pit now. Guessing for a soft competition to try and get a fastest lap attempt going. Pix lets a couple of the other cars past there. Doesn't want to interfere in the fight for the points. And yeah, Overwise and Bobadinho are close together here after this drive-through penalty, but with 22 seconds of penalties, there's a lot still to come. Sean Moole sends it around the outside of the Ferrari of Bazooka. And coming out of turn 3, has a better exit. And takes 5th place in this race now with a run on Sully as well. And he's gonna go for it, doesn't want to sit behind. Hand of Anger going up there as they tap down towards turn 4. Sully tries to switch back, but gets a moment of oversteer. And Sean, is safely into 4th place. For the moment at least, but we know this Austrian Grand Prix. We know this track, we know how many DRS zones there are, and we know how easy it is to rear overtake. Sully will have one more go at Sean, I'm certain about that. And look at the ERS on Bazooka. He is saving it up, all up for the last lap. He is being smart about this. Meanwhile, Viral is now dropped a bit of time to Dylan. 3.3 seconds. Pisivoli still 2.5 seconds away with only 2 laps to go. Sean Moore picking up the fastest lap of the race now, 106.712. Of course, he passed both Bazooka and Sully on this lap as well. So he must have burned a whole lot of ERS to still be able to get the fastest lap in. Desi with another 3-second time penalty also, as he's in 14th place. Viral almost back within the penalty range now. He seems to be a lot faster now down the straights here. That's going to be very close come the line. Whether it's going to be Dylan or Viral in 2nd place. Yeah, they do have 3 seconds, let's get that cleared up. So the only penalties that I think that currently matter are Dylan's and Bobadinho's. Everybody else's penalty will not have any effect on the race result. So we can stay on board in this battle between Sean, Sully and Bazooka and keep an eye on the gap between Viral and Dylan, which is now down to 2.6 seconds. So we're looking at a Sauber 1-2 here, which would be one hell of a result for them. Pisivoli coming in as a reserve. winning his first race back in Division 2 after so long that he's been away for now. What a comeback for him. And it wasn't easy whatsoever. He had a tough time in this race. Picked up some damage, had to fight 2 versus 1 against the Mercedes cars. Had to come back from a couple of small incidents. But he got the strategy bang on. He stayed out very much, he stayed out longer than anyone on those intermediates, and it paid off big time for him as he rejoined in the lead, well ahead of Dylan, and then he just controlled that gap down towards the line. And it looks like Pisivoli will bring home the full 25 points as Sully goes for the move on Sean Mull down towards turn 4. Outbreaks to Williams, he tries to switch, but no, it gets stuck on the back of him. Bazooka trying to join the fight here down towards turn 6. Does he have a run on him? He does. Up the inside goes to Ferrari. Sean Mull has to concede the position, and Bazooka takes 5th place. Although Sean with a switchback, a beautiful move by Sean as they battle down towards the final 2 corners. PC when he goes across the line. I'm sorry I missed that, but I simply have to stay with this battle as Bazooka and Sean are side by side into the final 2 corners. Sean comes on ahead. What a battle. And indeed, it's a Sauber 1-2. PC really on 1st place and Viral on the 2nd position. Dylan in 3rd place for Ferrari, Sully coming home in 4th, Sean in 5th, Bazooka 6th, Edwin in 7th, going into the barrier over the line, Pubdog in a disappointing 8th for Mercedes, Always in 9th, and Bobodinho comes over the line in 10th. Does he stay there with all the penalties he had? I think he does. But still, that is not what Mercedes would have hoped for. 1-3 in qualifying, 8-10 in the race. Maybe Lanky Brown jumps. Yes, he does. 8-11 for Mercedes. Lanky Brown picks up 10th place, and it's not even close, 8 seconds between him and Bobodinho. And then Charlie coming home on 12th, Flavors and Picks lapped in 13th and 14th, and DNFs for Desi, Marcelio and Kuko. That was the Austrian Grand Prix, and once again, as I say every week, what a race! Absolutely brilliant stuff, so much good racing all over the field. PCOD gets grounded today, and I have to agree, that was a scintillating performance from PCOD. Bazooka with a great race as well, coming back from 11th place after qualifying. And PC with the Scotland flag next to his teammate, a Sauber 1-2. Lovely to see. 43 points going the way of Sauber. And that could be massive in the Constructors' Championship fight. I mean, Sauber already had a strong showing in Australia, with both cars finishing in the top 5, and now both cars not just on the podium, but finishing 1-2. That could not have gone any better for them. Dylan having to settle for 3rd place there with that time penalty he picked up while trying to chase PC Woody. It cost him 2nd place in this race. But he can also be quite proud of how he raced today. A very, very strong performance as he picks up a podium. And here we have the full race results. Sully in 4th, Sean in 5th, Bazooka 6th, Edwin, Publock, Always, and Lanky Brown rounding out the top 10. Fastest lap goes to Charlie, 106.009, so a bonus point to him again for the 2nd week in a row. And then Flavors picks Desi, Marcelio and Kugo. That was the Austrian Grand Prix. I hope you all enjoyed today's stream. I hope you all enjoyed the commentary. And yeah, we'll see you all next week for the Belgian Grand Prix. Of course, around Spa-Francorchamps. Same time as always, 7:30 PM UK for the Division 2 race on Wednesday, and of course also for the Division 1 race on Saturday. So I hope you'll be tuning into that. Hope you all enjoy your evening, and goodbye.